Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be doing an awesome DIY project. We're going to be making our own marked deck of bicycle playing cards. Super easy to do, a little time consuming, but let's stop talking and let's jump right into it. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Alan. I'm a full-time professional magician, and I give my tips, tricks, tutorials, and all kinds of other cool magic-related content. So if that sounds cool, maybe hit that thumbs up button. It helps me with the algorithm. All right, today I'm going to be showing you how my method. There are a million methods for this, but this is my method for marking a deck of bicycle playing cards so that I can remember what the markings mean. The best system is the one that you invent yourself, but after watching this video, it'll give you some ideas on how you might want to mark your own deck of cards. So let's pop into the overhead view. Quick note before we get started, what you're going to need, the only thing you're going to need is a red Sharpie. Now, not this kind. I bring this up to show you not this. This is the Sharpie pen. This is crap for marking playing cards because the ink takes forever to dry and it's not super dark. So it ends up letting the light shine through or the white shine through. So I bought these by mistake. This is not what you want. Don't buy these. What you want to buy is this. This is an actual Sharpie marker. This is a fine tip or ultra fine tip, as they're called. You can get these at Staples or other office supply stores. This is what you want. You'll notice I'm not talking about blue ones because blue Sharpie doesn't show up on the back of the playing card very well. This is pretty well color matched, but blue Sharpie does not work very well. I'm also, instead of using a red Sharpie because that would blend right in and not actually show up very good on video, I'm going to use green because of science. And this is going to help us see the markings a lot more clearly. So there's two places that I mark on a playing card so I can tell what the value and the suit is. So you see right here on this little area, I call these apostrophes. These there's 5 of them actually, so there's actually one more than you need for the suits. And then I also do this little flower or this little dial here, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Count the center, 9 different places that you can mark it, and that's super helpful for the values. When we get past 9, you'll see what I do. But I use the chased order. That's clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. That's a handy little mnemonic if you're not familiar with that. Chased is, that word spells clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. So you have that nice order there so you can remember what each card is order. Okay, that's used in everything. That's used in size 7 stacks, a lot of different deck stacks. But in here, it just helps us know which card it is in order progressively. Okay, so the first thing, this is a club. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mark right here. That first little divot or the first little apostrophe will indicate a club. So we have clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds, and the last one we don't touch. Okay, so I know if I look at that, that means that's a club. If it was the next one, it would be a heart. The next one a spade, and the last one there a diamond. Now, since this is an ace, we'll go with the first or the top flower petal, and we'll just color that in. Okay. Now, and this is kind of sloppy. This is kind of messy. You wouldn't mark a deck of cards like this for real because, of course, it would show up. You'd want to use the red marker, and you'd want to take your time. But there you go. So I know that's ace clubs. Okay. And then, of course, you want to go ahead and go on the diagonal. You want to flip the card 180 degrees, and you want to make that same marking on this side. So now we have clubs and ace. So I know that that's the ace of clubs. No matter which way that card ends up oriented in the deck, I can look at it and I can know instantly. Okay. And if this was a 2, of course, the 2 would be here, 3 here, 4 here, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I color the center dot for 9. So the center dot would be 9. For 10, 10's a little bit more interesting. So what I do for my own self, and you may agree with this method of thinking, or you may have your own way of doing it, but since this flower petal kind of looks like a circle broken up, I leave the 10 alone. No marking on a marked deck can also mean something. So what I do is I just leave this alone because it looks like a circle to me, like the circle in the 0 on 10s. So all I would do on a 10 is I would mark the suit. So in this case, it's a club. I would mark that in, and then I would leave that alone, and I know that 10 of clubs. Okay, that's pretty easy. Pretty easy. When we get past 10, now we have some places where we think we run out of spaces. Maybe we got 10, we were clever and used that circle, but now we need to figure out how we're going to do these. Not so bad, okay? So for the jacks, I make 2 markings. Well, technically 3, because I mark the top one, center one, and the left one. And see, that kind of looks like a J. Right, so J, jack. Super easy to remember. When we get to the queen, what I do is I mark it straight up and down, right? And so this reminds me, kind of reminiscent of the little arm that comes off of the Q right here, right? So that's the most important part. That's the only thing that distinguishes a Q from a 0 or an O is that line. So I accentuate that and remember that. So line, straight up to straight down, hitting the top, middle, and bottom. That's a queen. That's a queen of clubs. So again, I would, of course, mark in that little apostrophe there. So that's a queen of clubs. Super easy. Now, the king. What do I do for the king? The king, I hit it at an angle, okay? So let's get that in focus. And so for king, I would color in that one, center one, and that one. Like that, on a diagonal. Why do I do that? Well, for me, mnemonically, that helps remember the slant on the arm. You got this thing here, this little eye shape here, and then you've got the arm that comes down for the first stroke for a K. So that's what I've done here. So this reminds me of a K. If you could imagine, it was like this, right? So that helps me remember K. Of course, that's a heart. So that's clubs, hearts. So I would mark in that second apostrophe. And there you go. So King of Hearts. Well, that's super obvious, but you get my meaning. Again, don't forget to mark the other side, so it's no matter the orientation, you know which card that is. So there it is. Now you just got to go make a ton of markings on the back of your own bicycle playing cards, and you will be able to have your own marked deck of cards. It's significantly cheaper, but a little bit more time consuming than getting your own deck, that's pre-made. But if you have the time and the patience, go ahead and do that. Some hot tips here. Make sure you are marking the diagonals so that you get both sides orientation-wise. I've made that mistake before and only marked one side, and then I had no idea what the card was. Also, I mark it from the top left and the bottom right, but if you're left-handed magician, you might want to do the opposite. You want to think about how these cards spread in a fan when you're offering them to somebody to either pick up or take from your spread, or if you spread them on the table and they're taken out. You want to make sure it's exposed visual area, so that's why I do this side of the deck. Makes sense for me because I do right-handed card magic. So last hot tip I have for you is to make sure that you are measuring twice and cutting once. What do I mean by that? Well, it can be very frustrating to be halfway through a deck of cards and then realize suddenly that you've put the wrong marking, that the marking is in the wrong spot on the card, and you have to go get another card or start with a new deck. Very frustrating. So make sure you're taking your time, you're checking your work, have a little key off to the side. I will try to have one of these available for you, a key for my own marking system in the description below. But if I can't get to that by the time that this video goes out, then make sure that you make some kind of quick key or guide so you know you can check, mark it, then check again, right? So there's that. If you don't feel like going through all the trouble of making your own deck and you just want to buy one, I would recommend these. This is the Apex Bomb deck. These are mine. I only have a couple of hundred of these left, and I am trying to clear out some room here in my home office / studio area. So if you're interested in picking some of these up, please leave me a comment. Let me know. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget and leave the video before you hit that. I'm trying to beat that YouTube algorithm, and you can help me a lot. And it's free, so why not hit the thumbs up button? Also, if you really liked it and you're not subscribed already, subscribe. It helps a lot. Lastly, you'll see that little heart with the $sign in it. That's the thanks button. If you really love this content, it was super valuable to you, you can give me a one-time tip for this content. That way you can help support the channel and the future content. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep your decks clean. Cheers.